Self-confidence also comes from the ability to rise above your circumstances, to rise above what happens, the petty little things, the discouraging things that would sink everyone else's ship except yours, that would cause someone else to quit early in the day, but you keep going. That kind of willingness to overcome all circumstances, whether it's the little challenges or the big challenges. If you're willing to do that, I promise you, this kind of power will work for you, and in you, the variable, it'll make a difference. The third on the list I had was enthusiasm. And here's what I wrote about enthusiasm. Enthusiasm that's powerful is mostly enthusiasm that is enthusiasm inside, 90%, 10% outside. We all know what the enthusiasm is like when somebody lets us see their enthusiasm, which is like the 90%, and only 10% of it is inside. But the enthusiasm that really affects people is not just being loud, but the enthusiasm that runs deep, the enthusiasm that comes from deep inside, created by self-confidence, created by purpose, created by genuine willingness to help other people. That kind of enthusiasm, knowing that you're going to get the job done, knowing you're going to affect people, knowing you're going to have testimonials flowing in from all kinds of directions. That kind of enthusiasm. A lot of it is quiet. A lot of it is unheard. And the 10% that's heard, it rings a bell. People call it genuine enthusiasm because they know that what you say in the outward display of your enthusiasm is only a small tip of the iceberg of the enthusiasm you feel inside that really motivates you to do the best job you can. Next on my list to help you become the powerful variable is expertise. Wanting to excel in all of the skills and settling for nothing less than an outstanding performance. If you're willing to be the best in your field, if you're willing to demand of yourself excellence in skills, to be the best that you can possibly be. In the training, do the best you possibly can. In doing a workshop, do the best you possibly can. Developing the skills of using your personality, developing the skills of language, developing the skills of influence, developing the skills of organizing. If you're willing to be an expert in all of the skills, Herbalife has the way for you to invest those skills and not only make a handsome living, not only make a lot of money, but if you would so desire and if it would be your purpose, a chance to make your fortune. Expertise, excellence in skills. Here was the next one on my list, making a powerful contribution to you, the variable, and that is preparation. Well prepared. And preparation, of course, involves a whole lot of things. A big share of our life is preparing, getting ready. When we go to the first grade in school, we're just preparing for the second grade. After we've finished 2 grades, the 2 grades prepare us for number 3. Sometimes it seems like a long, excruciating time. And the time will just seem like it'll never come when we can finally have the performance that we really want. But it takes time to prepare. It takes time to get ready. And the decisions you make in the preparation time, those are the decisions that last for a lifetime. Preparing to have a good day. It's that preparing, maybe the night before, maybe the couple of days before the day that you're going to put everything together. The preparation for a meeting means that you've taken it serious. The preparation for doing a workshop means you're serious about the workshop. You want to make the best contribution. That kind of preparation is important. But here's preparation that's very vital, and that is to prepare yourself for success. Life seemingly does not wish to waste success on the unprepared. Life says, why waste a fortune on this person? They're not prepared to do the right things with it. They're not prepared to use it wisely. If a fortune was bestowed upon this unprepared person, it would probably be wasted. The people that could have been touched won't be touched. What could have been done won't be done because this fortune will have been wasted on the unprepared person. So not only look for fortune, not only look for the promise, but prepare yourself and ask of yourself, what can I do to make myself ready? Because remember, life was designed not to give us what we want, not to give us what we need, but life was designed to give us what we deserve. Every value in life must be paid for, and those that pay are the ones that get it. It says those that give receive. Someone says, I wish to receive, I wish to receive. You don't have to concentrate on receiving. Just become a good giver. It says those that search will find. Someone says, well, I need to find some good ideas to help change my life for the future. Then to find good ideas, that doesn't come because you need them. It comes because you search for them. If you want good ideas, you got to go after them. You got to go to the class, you got to go to the workshop, you got to go to the training, go to the book, right? You got to go to the journal, right? Go where good ideas are being taught, go searching, go looking, because good ideas are not going to be wasted on those that are not seeking, searching, well prepared. So, prepare yourself to be ready for fortune when it comes, to be ready for challenge when it comes, to be ready for opportunity when it comes. Opportunity comes along and passes by the person that is not well prepared. I want to prepare myself this year for next year. Yes, I wish to be effective this year, but I'm also thinking of ways, how could I be better? How could my ideas be more powerful? How could they be sharper, more clear? How could I reach some people next year that I perhaps can't reach this year? I haven't reached deep enough into my own soul to affect some people. Some people just pass by and say, hey, what a good speech. But how could I make it stronger than that, deeper than that, more powerful than that? I cannot be as powerful as I could be next year. You know, you can't go to the 10th grade in the 5th grade. You just got to go through the grades. But the more you are prepared, when the 10th grade finally comes, now you can cash in and get 2 times, 3 times, 5 times more value from it by being prepared. I want to do my best this year for Herbalife, but I also want to get ready for next year, 1999. And then when the year 2000 comes at the turn of the century, I want to be well equipped by language, by instinct, by temperament, by personality, by influence, to really be valuable the year 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my goal. I'm sure it's your goal. Now here's the next one. There's great power in self-reliance. Self-reliance means you simply look mostly to yourself. It would be nice if someone just gave you this, gave you this, gave you this. It would be nice if everyone did their job exactly as they're supposed to do it. But here's what you've got to do. Primarily rely on yourself. Primarily say, I'm the person responsible. And I will learn the necessary skills so that I can help people learn their skills. If I need lots of people,
All right, familia. What's up, Grand Rising? Hope everybody is having a blessed morning. If you guys can hear me and see me good, can I get a 1 in the chat, please? If everybody can hear me and see me good, just want to make sure before we get our call started here. I'm super blessed, super excited to be on this call with each and every single one of you. It's always a pleasure when I get a chance to jump on these calls and pour into the family, and just for the most part, just serve the purpose at the end of the day. That's what this is all about. So I'm glad everybody can hear me. Super blessed, very grateful. I got some secret sauce for you guys today, man. I got some secret sauce. I've only done this training one other time. And this training was given to me by Matt Gribby. I would say about 2 years ago, and I've only taught it once. Okay. So this is going to be super powerful. But before we get into that, I don't know about you guys, and I don't know if you guys know, but the person that I had playing, his name is Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was my first mentor, right? Jim Rohn was my first mentor. And I can't tell you guys how much Jim Rohn has had an impact in my life. Man, if I look back at the moments when I started, at the moments when I almost felt like quitting, at the moments where, things got hard, I can always look back and look at moments when it was Jim Rohn that was there for me, bro. When I had no mentor, when I had no one to be there for me, I had no guidance, no nothing. It was Jim Rohn, and I know that, I put a lot of KT and I put you guys on to a lot of other stuff, but bro, I could tell you guys this right now. If it wasn't for Jim Rohn, I don't know if I would know a lot of the things that I know. I don't know if I would be as passionate as I am about my personal development as I am today. Jim Rohn truly changed my life, seriously, and it's amazing how someone who's not even here with us anymore can have such a big impact on me. And if you don't know who Jim Rohn is, you need to go listen to Jim Rohn. You need to go listen to that, because that is the GOAT. And I wanted to give him his flowers. I know he's not here, but his energy is here. I never got a chance to meet him. Never. I wish, bro. I wish he was still alive. I would go to all of his conferences 100%. But Jim Rohn really taught me the importance of personal development, the importance of preparation. That always stuck with me, and that always stuck with me. What he was just saying towards the end of that, he said, a blessing and the things that you want in life is not going to come to the individual who is not prepared, right? That blessing can come, and if you're not prepared, it'll pass you by. And those words, for some reason, those specific words always stuck with me, bro. It always stuck with me. He said, a good opportunity will come, and if you're not prepared, it will pass you by. And that always stuck with me, because it's true. I've seen so many people miss opportunities. I've seen so many people who have slept in, have not been able to put themselves in position. And when you look back, they had the opportunity to change their life. They had an opportunity to change the situation. But guess what? They weren't prepared. They weren't prepared. And like he said, God isn't going to bless someone who's not prepared, because if he gives that individual that blessing, right, they're not going to do the right thing with that opportunity, and it's going to pass them by. So that little message right there, they're just so powerful. And if you haven't been listening to Jim Rohn, trust me, guys, there is no one better out there. I just felt the need to give Jim his flowers, because, man, if there's anybody that got me into personal development, if there's anyone that I've listened to hundreds and thousands of hours of personal development, I used to fall asleep listening to Jim Rohn. I used to wake up listening to Jim Rohn, right? Before there was KT, before there was Bob Proctor, before there was Les Browns, before there was anybody else, it was Jim. And he did make a big, massive change. And still to this day, I listen to Jim, fam. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I appreciate you. Amanda, I appreciate you. Appreciate those words. For real, means a lot. But yeah, God rest his soul, and we'll always pay homage, and his name will always continue to live. Like, I'll make sure his name, for as long as I'm alive, his name will be alive, because if it wasn't for Jim, like I said again, I wouldn't have been dive deep as I am into personal development, fam. And that's the truth. So let's get into today's call. I'm very excited. Let's express one thing that we're grateful for really quick. Let's open up the call. I am grateful for God. I am grateful for my health. I am grateful for my mind, my body, and my spirit. I'm grateful for Jim Rohn. I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful for my dad. I'm grateful for my little brother. I'm grateful for my goddaughter, Dariana. I'm grateful for my team and all the leaders within my organization. I'm grateful for my mentors. I'm grateful for my girlfriend, Katie, who's always there for me and loves me unconditionally. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful for the food that I eat on a day-to-day basis. I'm grateful for opportunity. I'm grateful for my strong, healthy body. I'm grateful for the great meditation that I had this morning. I'm grateful for the book that I'm reading right now. I'm grateful for, the 45 days of consistency that we've been on. I'm grateful for my brother G Hundo. I see you right there in the chat box, right? I'm grateful for your growth, bro. I'm grateful for my sister Jadi. I'm grateful for Drew. I'm grateful for Prez. I'm grateful for Amanda. I'm grateful for Manza. I'm grateful for Ricardo, for Daniel, for Drew, for all of you guys here in the chat. Extremely, extremely grateful for all of you, and grateful for just life in general. It's an amazing, amazing journey that we are on. And I'm grateful to be, on this journey alongside of all of you guys. So I'm going to get this call started. Like I said, again, fam, what I'm going to drop on today's call is secret sauce. Like I said, this is very exclusive stuff. In reality, I should have probably asked for permission first before sharing this. But I'm just going to do it at this point, right? I'm just going to do it because I want you guys to get the value from this. Okay. Sometimes I get in trouble for sharing stuff that I'm not supposed to, so, but we're good. I've taught it before. He knows I've taught it before. And this is really is some secret sauce. And I had to bring it over to Zoom because I need to draw out the secret sauce. Okay, so if you guys are ready for the secret sauce, type some SS in the chat box for secret sauce if you guys are ready for that. And this is also a good time to for you to send it out to your friends, family, let them know, yo, do not miss this call. Tell your team, yo, you don't want to miss this sauce. Okay, because it is going to be powerful. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to go right to the whiteboard and let's get into this. Okay, so this secret sauce is key. Okay, and it has a lot to do with paradigms and how to become that best version of yourself. Okay, and it's broken down in a certain way so that you guys can understand it. But it has to be drawn out, okay? And before I even start this training, I want to give all the credit, all the love, all the respect back to my brother, Matt Gribby, okay? This training was something that, this is actually coming from his ether, right? This was communicated through him from the higher powers. And he had an idea and he put it on paper, okay? And this is what he came up with, right? Think about this, right? We always say energy isn't created nor destroyed. What is it, guys? If energy is not created nor destroyed, then what is energy, right? If energy is not created nor destroyed, what is it? It's transferred, right? It's transferred. Okay, so Matt, my mentor, and as you guys know him as Mateo Gribly, okay, he had this idea transferred over to him from a higher power, okay? And as he got it transferred over to him from a higher power, all right, he then put it on paper because you got to write these ideas down, okay? Now, there's no specific name to this training, okay? I'm just going to call it the secret sauce because it's not like, there's a name or anything specifically. I'm going to just call it the secret sauce, okay? But you guys will understand what it is now. So if you guys are here with me, you're going to have to draw on this training, okay? And you guys, I know you guys like when I bring out the drawing board, okay? So we're going to talk about this right now, okay? So let me just put this up right here. Okay, dope. So the first thing we need a rectangle right here, okay? Let's put a rectangle right here. And inside the rectangle, we are gonna write paradigm. Okay, we're gonna write paradigm in here. This is very, very important. Now, before I continue and we continue with this, what is a paradigm? Okay, a paradigm is your way of thinking. Okay, for those who don't know what a paradigm is, your paradigm is a way of thinking. Okay, so that way you guys can understand. All right. And it's super important that you guys understand this. Okay. A paradigm is a collection of your thoughts, the way that you think. What is it that do you have a positive paradigm? Do you have a negative paradigm? So this is a collection of the thoughts that you have on a day-to-day basis. Okay. So this is basically your thought patterns, exactly how you think, the whole nine, everything that comes with that. Okay. So that's what a paradigm is. Okay. Now, usually, okay, we got to remember that our paradigm, all right, for the most part, our paradigm is controlled by what we call our senses, okay, by our senses. So our senses, as we know, we have 5 senses. Okay, so we could put like 5 little lines right here, all right, to represent our 5 senses. Okay, and we have our what we see. So we'll do see, hear, taste, touch, what we see, what we hear, what we taste, what we touch. I'm missing one. See, hear, smell. That's what I'm missing. I almost forgot my 5 senses. I'm like, wait, I'm missing one. So what we see, what we hear, what we taste, what we touch, and what we smell. All right. So our paradigm is created by these things, what we see. All right. What we taste, what we hear, what we touch. All right. And we need to understand that this is what happens on a day-to-day basis. Okay. Every day we are seeing things. Every day we are hearing things. Every day we are touching. Every day we are tasting. Every day we are smelling, right? Every day our paradigm is being created by what we see, what we hear, what we taste, what we touch, and what we smell. Okay, this is very, very important. Our conscious mind, what we think on a day-to-day basis, is created from our what? Our 5 senses. Okay. Now, we need to understand this, all right? And this is very, very, very important, what I'm going to be covering here. So I need you guys to pay attention, but also take notes, okay? This is what happens, okay? We usually have what we call our current way of thinking. Current way of thinking. All right, so you may have a current way of thinking right now. Okay, and let me just make sure I see this. All right. And then your current way of thinking is what's going to determine the results that you get. Okay, this is something that most people need to understand. So the way that you think will determine what? The emotions that you feel. The emotions that you feel will determine the actions that you get. And the actions that you get determine the results that we also are looking for. So what tends to happen is, right, our current way of thinking, okay, is going to lead, all right, right here, okay, to usually unpleasant results, all right? If you are someone on this call who is not happy with your results, it's due to what? Your current way of thinking, okay, which is what? Your paradigm, based off of what? The things that you're seeing, the things that you're hearing, the things that you're touching, you're tasting, and you're smelling on a day-to-day basis. Okay. And this is something that I want you guys to understand. Now, I'm going to get deeper into this stuff. So I hope that you guys are paying attention here, because it's going to get deep here in a little bit. All right. This is real secret sauce. Okay. And it's going to get only deeper and deeper and deeper. All right. So your unpleasant results, okay, it's a reflection of your current way of thinking. Okay, it all comes back full circle. Okay, it all comes back full circle. Current way of thinking determines what? Your unpleasant results. Your unpleasant results will continue to lead to your current way of thinking, right? And what tends to happen with people is that because they're not happy with where they are, they're not happy with their unpleasant results, they continue to think the same way. This is what happens right here. All right. Now, there has to be a change, because if you are on this call right now and you're somebody who is not happy with your results, if you are unpleasant about your results, it is because of the way that you've been thinking. It is because of the way that you've been processing information. You have the same ideas in your mind each and every single day, right? Something I've learned in the past is that there is no such thing as being stuck, right? You ever heard somebody say, man, I feel stuck. I feel stuck. I feel like I'm not moving too much. Well, you know why you feel stuck? There is no such thing as being stuck. Nano, what do you mean there's no such thing as being stuck? Well, there's no such thing as being stuck because time and energy are always in motion, right? Time and energy are always in motion. So there's no such thing as being stuck because time and energy is always in motion. The reason why you feel stuck is because you keep recreating the same thoughts and emotions each and every single day, and it's keeping you in the exact same place. That's why you feel stuck. Okay. And I always tell people that I hear so many people say this to me all the time. Yo, Nano, I feel stuck. Nano, I feel stuck. Nano, I don't know why it is that I feel this way. I haven't been able to get to the next level. I haven't been able to reach that next rank. I haven't been able to make money in my trading account. I haven't been able to start my e-commerce store. I haven't been able to do certain things. Remember, you're not ever stuck. There is no such thing as being stuck. You can't be stuck because time and energy are always in motion. The problem is you keep recreating the same thoughts and the same emotions, and guess what? It's just happening over and over and over and over again. That's why you feel stuck. Okay, you're mentally stuck. You're just, like I always say, people are just doing what we call figure eights. You're just doing figure eights. That's what's happening. This, right? You're just doing figure eights. You're going forward, you're going back, 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 like this, over and over and over and over again. This is why you feel stuck. Now, if you truly want to understand this, okay, if you truly want to understand this, right, there's one thing you got to do. Okay, if you really want to understand this, all right? And the word I'm looking for is change. There needs to be a change in paradigm. You got to change. Because if you can't change, you'll always stay the same. You'll always be right here. You'll always be in your current way of thinking, and you will always have unpleasant results. All right. And I need you guys to understand this stuff. This is so important. You got to think about it. Look, you got to ask yourself, yo, at the beginning of the year, what were my results? What are my results? What were my results in the spring? What were my results this summer? If there hasn't been a drastic change in your results, then guess what? You've been stuck. If at the beginning of the year, you were making $4,000 a month, and we are in September and you are still making the same amount of money or less, you are stuck, my friend. And let me be the one to tell you that on this call. And sorry if I have to be the person that brings that up to you. I know that sometimes mornings with Nano could be hard to sit here and take these notes and sometimes hear the things that I got to tell you, but somebody has to say it. If you are still making the same amount of money, if you're still stuck in the same exact place as you were come March, April, May, and you still haven't made no drastic jumps or leaps in your business or at all, you are stuck, my friend. Your paradigm has to change. Your current way of thinking has to change. Okay. I had a conversation with one of my leaders, and she was telling me, she was like, Nano, I've had people come up to me and tell me that, you know, they don't want to jump on Mornings with Nano anymore because they know the information that you're going to teach. And I started laughing, and I'm like, really? They know the information? I'm like, do they have the results? No, they were like, no, they don't. I'm like, so how do they know it? Because if they knew it, they would have the results. They would have the results if they knew the information. So they don't know it. Because remember, to know and to not do is to not know at all. So just because you heard the information doesn't mean you know the information. Just because you jump on Mornings with Nano and you hear the information doesn't mean that you actually know the information. I want you to understand that. If you are on this call right now, I can teach you this every single day. And unless you apply it and get the results from it, you don't know it. You don't know it. So for those individuals that say, oh, I already know that, I don't need to jump on Mornings with Nano, tell them, bro, what are the results then? If you really know it, then what are the results? That's the problem with people. They lose their ability to learn. They lose their ability to understand things on a different level. Okay. But what they don't understand is that repetition is the mother to progress. We got to do this over and over. You know how many times I had to learn this before I actually applied it? Do you understand how many times I heard the same training before I actually was able to learn it, apply it, and get results from it? It takes time. So you got to do it daily. The things that I teach you guys, it's repetition. Now, let's talk about this, because now we're getting into the other side of things. This is where it starts to get good now. Okay, so we're going to draw up another rectangle right here. We're going to draw it up. We're going to put it up here. Okay, and inside of it, we're going to write new ideas to think from. Okay, that's what you're going to write in this square, in this rectangle. New ideas to think from. All right. Now, the only way that you can change your paradigm, is when you get new ideas to think from. Now, Nano, where do I get new ideas to think from? Well, you can get them on here on Mornings with Nano. You get them from the books that you read, the audios that you listen to, the events that you attend, the trainings that you jump on, one-on-one mentorship sessions, right? You need new ideas to think from. Okay. And as you're building and as you're getting these new ideas to think from, what you need to understand is this, fam. Okay. There's something that you got to do as you are building and you are getting new ideas to think from. All right. You got to do what we call building a new self-image of yourself. You got to change the image you have of yourself, because what tends to happen is when you get stuck in this unpleasant results paradigm where you're not creating the life that you want, okay, what tends to happen is you stay stuck there for a long time. And it becomes your image. You start to accept yourself as someone who doesn't have results. You start to accept yourself as someone who lacks confidence, who is lazy, who doesn't like to wake up early, right? You start to create an image of yourself because you lack the results. Okay. So because you lack the results, you start to build an image of yourself that in reality isn't going to serve you. So what you need to do is you need to change your paradigm. And the way you change your paradigm is by getting new ideas to think from. Right now on this call, I am giving you new ideas to think from. Now, once you get these new ideas to think from, what you need to do now is you got to start to build this new self-image of you. Who are you going to be in the month of September, right? Who are you going to talk like? Who are you going to be like, right? What words are you going to speak? What's going to change? What is the new image of yourself for the month of September? Are you going to be more confident in September? Are you going to be more disciplined in September? Are you not going to be no longer that procrastinator, the person that says that they're going to do things and they never do it, right? Who are you going to be? What is going to be your new self-image now that you've decided to change and now that you've decided to get new ideas to think from? Because that's the key. If you want to change the paradigm that you have right now, if you want to change the fact that you don't have the results that you want right now, the first thing you need to do is you need to get new ideas to think from. Now, once you get the new ideas to think from, you need to start building a new self-image. A new self-image. All right. When I was broke, busted, and disgusted, when my bank account looked like gas prices, and I was somebody that was a massive procrastinator. I lacked discipline. I lacked consistency. I lacked confidence. I was scared to speak in public. At the time, that was my self-image. I was somebody that couldn't keep his word. I was somebody that couldn't stay consistent over a period of time. I would start things and I wouldn't finish things. I thought I knew it all. I didn't have no morning routine, no confidence in myself, no confidence in my business. I had a fear of others judging me. That was my self-image at that time. But that's the reason why I had the results that I had. That's the reason why I had unpleasant results, was because of the image that I had created of myself. So I had to change that. And that's why I always loved Jim Rohn, right? This goes hand in hand with Jim, because Jim Rohn would say, hey, if you want to change your life, you have to change. He would always say that. You got to change, right? He would always say it in his voice. Hey, you got to change. You got to change, you got to change, and you got to change. And you know how he used to say you have to change? Shout out to my brother Leo on the call with me. The way you change is you need new ideas to think from. And after you get the new ideas to think from, you need to start building that new self-image of yourself. Who are you going to be moving forward? Well, I knew I had to wake up earlier. I knew I had to work on myself every day. I had to develop a morning routine. I knew that I had to become more consistent, more disciplined. And by me doing that, my self-confidence increased. The belief in myself started to increase. Everything started to increase. Because guess what now? I am working on my self-image. So because I'm working on my self-image, guess what happens next? Okay, what happens next is beautiful. All right, I love Papa Ron as well. He's the man. What happens next is the best part, right? There's an increase in belief. There's an increase in belief, fam. Right? And you know how belief is increased as well? Through what we call, all right, let me see if I can edit this right quick. right? You want to know how an increase in belief is accomplished? Through what we call affirmations. Affirmations. I am successful. I am wealthy. I am a Chairman 50. I am confident. I am disciplined. I am a master trader. I am the top producer in my organization. I am. You start to speak differently, so you start to increase the belief in yourself, right? This is important, right? They say the words that you speak are a reflection of the thoughts that you think. So when people talk to me, I listen to what they're saying to me, because what they're saying to me gives me an idea of what they're thinking. And that's important that you guys understand this. Be careful with the words that you are speaking on a day-to-day basis, because the words that you speak on a day-to-day basis determine the reality that you live. Okay, so once you start building that self-image and you start to build a new self-image of yourself, that old version of you is going to start to die off, right? They say if you want to change your life, the old version of you must die. Who is the old version of you? You must identify who that old version of you is. The old version of you is lazy. The old version of you can't stay consistent. The old version of you is not disciplined. They lack confidence. They don't believe in themselves. They say that they're going to do things and they don't do things. They're not impeccable with their word. That old version of you must die. It must be buried. Forget about that version of you anymore. You need to create a new version of you. You need new ideas to think from. You need to build a new self-image of who it is that you want to be and who you want to become. And as you start to build that self-image of yourself, of who you want to be, who you want to walk like, who you want to talk like, what kind of foods you want to eat, all of this great stuff, all right, your belief will start to increase based off of the words that you're going to start speaking now. I know individuals that they call you or they talk to you, and anytime they talk to you about their problems. They talk to you about how much they're struggling. They talk to you about their lack of finances. They talk, but what they don't understand is that, yo, you are speaking that is all energy. That's why I am very, very, very careful with the words that I speak when I am going through problems. Because I know everything that I speak eventually was going to come into fruition, because I am putting the energy out there. And because I'm putting the energy out there, the energy is going to come back around. So if I put out energy that I'm lacking financially, that I'm not being where I want to be at, that I'm not so on and so forth, that I can't do this and nothing works in my favor, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? That energy that I put out is going to come back around. And it's going to prove to me why those things are actually happening in my life. I've been there before. You know why I've stopped struggling financially is because I never speak those things no more. Not even to a friend I speak those things anymore. I don't even think about that anymore. I can't remember the last time that I thought about myself struggling financially. I am scared to even think about that anymore. I don't put that energy out anymore. I don't even want it to be a thought in my mind. But Nano, it's so easy for you to say, bro, you know, you're making all this money a month, but I remember when I was making no money a month. I remember when my bank account was overdrafted and I was drowning in debt, and I was convincing myself that I was rich. And I was convincing myself that I did have money. And I was convincing myself that everything was going to work in my favor. And I changed my self-image. No longer was I that broke nano. I changed that image of myself. This is what's difficult right here. Can you convince yourself that you are wealthy, powerful, strong, consistent when everything is against you? This is one of the biggest tests that you're going to have to face. I guarantee you it. Can you convince yourself that you are something else when in reality, in the physical world, you are something different? Don't let that go over your head. Can you convince yourself in the spiritual world that you are something when in the physical world, you're the complete opposite? Can you do that? That's a test. Because every day you got to convince yourself that you're wealthy, that you're confident, that you're strong, that you're a successful trader, that you're this. But in the physical, you're broke. You don't have money. You're trying to figure out how you're going to pay for the next bill. You don't even know. You're struggling. The bills are coming up. It's difficult. Trust me, I know, because I have been there. I have been there. But even though I have been there, you know what I did? I kept building that self-image. I kept building that self-image. I kept building that self-image. Every day. I started everything. Everything I started to do it with a lot of intention. Every time I opened up my bank account, I would look at it, and yes, it was low, but I would look at it like if it was high. Okay, I wasn't getting results in my business, but I would convince myself that I was successful, that I was attracting successful leaders into my organization, that I was winning trades, that I was making successful investments. It's hard to build a self-image of yourself overnight, though, too, because you see, right now, let's be real. I'm at a point in my life where if I were to look here, I'm in the same position as everybody here. You know, let me tell you guys why we are all in the same position, regardless of income. You know why? Because even Nano right now, I am unpleasant with my results. So in order for me to change my results, I need new ideas to think from. I need to build a new self-image. Why you think I'm 45 days into building this new self-image of myself, right? Why you think every day I'm writing down my affirmations, I'm getting my belief increased. Okay, now maybe this may be a little bit different for you guys, but yo, I'm with you guys on this. I'm changing my paradigm too. It's just my low may be your high. That's how it is sometimes, right? Because if we go over here real quick and I go to a new page and I'll come back to it, right? Right? Remember this, guys. Your life is going to move like the markets move. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? Now, consider this at this point, rock bottom, right? Okay. You hit a higher high. You made some new money. You like, yo, this is lit. I am excited. I'm making $5,000 a month. Everything is working in my favor. I am so excited. And then what happens is you get tested. And then you hit what's called a higher low. Now you went from making $5,000 a month, and now you're making only $2,000 a month. Now, how you handle this low will determine how high you go next. Okay. Now, if you handle this low the right way, guess what? Now you'll jump up and maybe you'll create now what we call a new higher high. How you handle the lows will determine how high you go next. Never forget that. Make sure you write it down and tag me on it. How you handle the lows will determine how high you go next. Look at what happens to some people. Some people go high and then they go low. But because they don't handle the low well, what happens is they don't go much higher. And then they're just stuck right here. And sometimes because they're not handling the lows too well, sometimes they may even go even lower because they're not handling the lows well. Only those that handle the lows well deserve higher highs. Only those that handle the lows well deserve higher highs. Only those. If you can't handle the lows well, you don't deserve a higher high. Never. Because you don't know how to handle the lows. You don't know how to make it through the lows. You don't know how to find the treasure in the lows. You don't know how to find the lessons in the lows. You get mad about the lows. You get frustrated in the lows. You stop reading. You stop doing your morning routine when it gets low. You stop reading, you stop praying, you stop doing what's required when it goes low. You're not handling the lows the right way. So guess what? You don't deserve the higher highs. You don't deserve them. It's impossible. And then, as again, like I said, you'll come down and you'll hit higher lows again. Now, Neno, why is this called a higher low? Well, look, this was my prior higher low. Now look at this, right? Before, my higher low was 2K a month. Now my higher low is 5K a month. You see that? Then maybe your higher low here will be 10K a month. See how that works? Then it may be 25K a month. As you go up, the higher and the amount of money that you make also increases. All right. So with what I said is like, yo, my higher low, right, maybe in this area right here, but this is some of you guys' higher highs. You see how that works? Because you guys haven't climbed up the ladder yet. I've experienced the higher lows and the higher highs and the higher lows and the higher highs and the higher lows and the higher highs. So what may be a higher low for you, okay, or what may be a higher high for you is a higher low for me because it's all perspective. It's all perspective. It's all where you are in the journey. I've handled my lows very well. So because of that, I always deserve higher highs. If you let the lows get to you, you do not deserve higher highs. I'm telling you right now. The higher lows are what makes you. Those are what make you. Not the highs. These moments right here, okay? This part right here, let me make this very clear to you guys. All right. This point right here, from here to here, that doesn't make you. This point right here is what makes you. Let me tell you why. This is why. The reason why the lows make you is because the lows is what's going to test what you learned when you were going high. Don't let that go over your head. The reason why the lows are so important is because the lows are going to test what you learned when you were going to your higher high. So if you've been learning, pam, 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 and you hit your higher high, now you're making more money, boom, 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 and then you lose it, and you come down a little bit, this is God testing to see if you actually learned what you said you learned. This is me, this is God now testing. Let's see if you actually did jump on those calls. Let me see if you actually did learn this lesson. Let me see if you're going to stay consistent with your routine, even though I just took away some of your income. Let me see if you're going to continue to pray and practice gratitude when I take away these few $100,000 that you were making. Let me see. Let me test you really quick. Let me see what you built of. Let me see. I want to see what you are built of, Nano. I want to see what you built of. Anna, Carlos, KD, Crystal, Natasha, Deja, Lisa, Eunice. I'm going to see what you are made of on this call right here. I'm going to bring you down to a low, and I'm going to see if you actually been jumping on the calls. Let's see if it was just luck. Because remember, you could lie to Nano, you could lie to your friends, you could lie to your mom, you could lie to your dad, you could lie to your mentor, you could lie to everybody, but you can't lie to yourself, fam. You could tell me you're doing your morning routine and not doing it, and I'll believe you. Oh, you're doing your morning routine, bro. God bless, my brother. I'm happy for you. But you could be lying the whole time. You see how that works? A lot of people tend to think that, I'm like, you could lie to me if you want to. But at the end of the day, you can't lie to God. God is always watching. Nano, I'm doing my morning routine every day, but you're really not doing it. You're being watched. Nano, I'm reading every day, but you're really not reading every day. You're being watched. Nano, I'm reading, but when I look, and if I was a fly on the wall in your house, you're reading, but you're on the phone at the same time. You're reading, but you're picking up phone calls. That's not reading. That's not reading. Let me make something very clear to you. If you read and you get distracted, you are not reading. If you can't sit down and read for 30 minutes, you do not read. Don't give me no excuses. If you can't read without checking your Instagram, without picking up a phone call, without answering a message, you are not reading, family. Let me make that very, very clear to you guys. If you wake up and the first thing you grab is your phone, you're not being intentional about your day. If the first thing you do when you wake up is not pray and practice gratitude, you're doing it wrong. If you start your day without preparation, without doing a morning routine, you are doing it wrong. All wrong, all wrong, all wrong. All of it is wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. So you got to build that new self-image. You have to. It's a must. You're not going to make it. Not in this world. There's no way you're going to make it here. Most don't make it. Most do not make it. I'm talking to you guys because I want you to make it. And I know that this may sound harsh, and I know that this may be a little bit aggressive for some of you guys. But trust me, this is what it is for real, for real. This is the truth. And they say that the truth will set you free if you accept it. If you can't handle the lows, you don't deserve newer highs. You don't know how much it breaks my heart to see people when they start going through lows like, man, Nano, I haven't been doing my morning routine. I haven't been showing up on the calls. And I'm like, bro, only if you knew the mistake that you're making. I watch people, when we're going high, when we're on those runs to the highs, everybody's happy, everybody's excited, everybody's participating in the group chats, everybody's morning routines are on point, everybody's reading, everybody's prospecting, everybody's posting on social media, everybody's stories are lit. The moment somebody goes through a low, they only post once on their social medias. They stop doing their morning routines. You don't even hear from them in the chats. They're non-existent in the chats. You don't even hear from them anymore. They're like, yo, and then they start to be like, yo, but I gotta focus on this and that and blah, 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 blah. I can't jump on mornings with Neno no more because I'm waking up at 10 a.m., 12 a.m., 12 p.m. Why did your energy change? Because what, you went through the low? That's how you know you're not aware. The moment you allow a low to get the best of you, you are not aware. You prove it. You know when I know who's aware and who's not? When we go through lows. That's how I know who's aware and who's not, who's strong and who's not, because of how you act when we go low. Who stays consistent when we go low? Who keeps doing their morning routine when we go low? Because we're going to go through lows. It's the law of rhythm. Everything that goes up, it must come down. You prove yourself in the lows. You don't prove yourself in the highs. Your character is determined in the lows, not in the highs. That's where your character is determined, not in the highs, because when it's high, it's all good. When we're high, it's all good. Everything is good. It's about when we go low. That's the key. That's the key. You know what happens with me now? When I go low, I go harder. I go harder when I go down now because I understand this. I'm aware now. It's 11:11. That's how real it is. Everything I'm telling you guys. When I go low, I go harder. I read more. I meditate more. I wake up earlier when we go lower. I'm like, bet, perfect. This is the test right here. This is the test. This is my test right here. Let's go. Man, bro, we was freaking at a low for a year. I was at a low for almost a year. And the thing is, we can't determine how long we're going to be in the low. That's the tough part. God decides. He's like, all right, now you can go. Now, all right, here. You handled this low very well. Now I'm going to throw you higher. Let's see how you're going to handle the high now. I'll be naive to think that I'm over here preparing myself for the next low that I experience in life. That's what I'm doing right now. I know I'm going to hit higher highs. I'm getting ready for the next low that I experience in life. I'm preparing myself for the next low. Because I know it's coming. It's the laws of the universe. It's the laws of nature. It's the law of rhythm. We go up, we go down. Nano, why do you read so much books? Nano, this. You know what's funny? People made fun of my team. People made fun of my team at one point. People were like, bro, all you guys do is personal development. You guys this, you guys that. And I'm like, you know what I told somebody one day? I was like, yo, just make sure that your team is ready for when these challenges come. You heard my fam? Make sure. That same person, their business is non-existent and they're over there, they're back to working a job. The same person used to tell me the same thing. They used to make fun of me. They used to be like, bro, you gotta teach your team, you know, this, and you gotta teach your team that. Like, it's not all personal development. I'm like, what you don't know is that, bro, my team got everything else. I just gotta make sure I prepare my team for the lows when they come. I gotta prepare my team. You're not preparing your team. You think that it's all about the money. You think that it's all about trading. You think that it's all about building the business, right? That's what you think, right? I'm like, all right, wait till this next challenge come. Let's see who was prepared and who wasn't. And guess what? My team is solid as a brick. De lo mío, Chris, was goody. And their whole team is non-existent, right? We sharpened that axe, Leo. We were sharpening that axe. So when the trees were in the way, While when everybody was hitting their tree with a baseball bat and they got tired of hitting their trees with baseball bats, our axe was sharpened and ready to go. You see how that works? Everybody else was hitting the trees, the obstacles with baseball bats. How long would it take you to put down a tree with a baseball bat? Guys, how long would it take you to cut down a tree with a baseball bat? Can you cut down a tree with a baseball bat? No, you'll be there all year. You'll be there your whole life trying to knock down a tree if you try. As a matter of fact, the baseball bat will probably break. But guess what? You know what we were doing? We were cutting down the trees because we had axes. Our minds were sharp. Our minds were sharp. We were ready for the challenges. We prepared for them. We were ready. Exactly. Roxy said, you can, you'll be there forever. It's not possible. So people who don't do personal development, when the challenges come, they are a perfect example of somebody that's hitting a tree with a baseball bat. When you do the personal development and you sharpen your mind, you are the person that when the challenges come, which is the tree, you have an axe in your hand that can help you chop it down. See how that works? It's a difference. People got to know this stuff. You got to prepare for this stuff. So what I've understood is that you got to increase your belief the way you handle the lows. The reason why I have so much belief for this is because I've been able to handle the lows very well. And then through the lows and through the self-image and through the increase in belief, right? What you need to do is, and this is something I always say, and we just talked about it, there's something called repetition. This is something you have to do. Repetition. Repetition is the mother of all progress. That's what I say is like, yo, you know Mornings with Nano, you know these lessons, but you only learned it once. You only learned it twice. You got to learn this hundreds of times. You got to know this hundreds of times. The repetition is the key. Why you think I teach you guys some of the same information over and over and over again? Because if you don't know this, how can I even teach you guys the next thing? And the way I know if you know this is if you've gotten the results. That's the key, fam. Someone said, Nano, you teach the same thing. I'm like, yeah, so what? And I know I don't teach the same thing because I know I switch it up, but it's like, it's all perspective. Think about it. I consider myself to be a very successful entrepreneur, and I'm still learning the same things that I learned 4 years ago. I've been learning the same thing for 4 years. Bob Proctor read Think and Grow Rich every day of his life, the same book, the same information every day. You got to do it over and over and over and over and over again. How many times on this call have we talked about changing your paradigm and some of you guys still haven't done it, even though I've repeated it hundreds of times? Because that's how life is. You got to repeat it over and over and over again until it finally hits. One day it'll hit you and you'll finally make the change. One day it'll hit and you will finally be ready to receive it. But until then, you won't be ready to receive it. How many times have I told you guys, yo, evaluate yourself every Sunday? How many of you guys actually evaluate yourselves every Sunday? Ask yourself that question. How many times have I told you guys, yo, at the beginning of every month, write a letter to yourself? How many of you guys actually wrote a letter to yourself to start September? How many times have I reminded you, yo, morning routine is the key. Morning routine is the key. And you still don't have a morning routine and you still don't do it consistently every day. How many times have you told yourself, yo, I got to go to the gym, and you still don't go to the gym? This is key. You got to understand the repetition is what's going to lead to the new paradigm, fam. Because through repetition, what happens now is, okay, through repetition, remember, now what happens is, okay, we do what's called through repetition, boom, you what? Override the paradigm. And now you have a new way of thinking. You override the paradigm. You have to override it. Think about it, guys. We have, if you really sit down and think about it, think about some of us. I'm gonna use me as an example. When I started to learn this information, I was 23, 24 years old. So I had to break 24 years of bad programming. You think I'm going to break 24 years of bad programming in 1 year? 2 years? 3 years? How? How are you going to break a paradigm that you've been building for 24 years of your life in 1 year, in 2 months? What sense does that make? Think about that. What sense does that really make? How? Think about it like a ball of yarn. Right? Think about a ball of yarn, for example, right? You guys ever seen those big balls of yarn? Imagine if you've been programming that for 24 years, just going around it for 24 years. Now you have this big ass ball of yarn. And you think that you're going to be able to unravel that ball of yarn in just 2 months, that big ball of yarn that you created in 24 years? You think you're going to be able to do that? Not going to happen. It's not, some of you guys are on this call and some of you are 30 years old, 40s, 50s years old. That's why I be telling y'all, yo, you can't even, none of us can afford even a day off, not even 1 day. We can't even afford 1 day off because we need to unravel years and years and years of bad programming, limiting beliefs, bad information, all of this stuff. Are you crazy, man? That's why it blows my mind when people quit because they think it's about the business. It's not even about the business. It's about you. It's about you. Shelby is 30 and she says, I'm 1 year in. To be honest, Shelby, we got years to go, sis. Now, can you unravel it? Can you unravel that ball of yarn? Is it going to take you 30 years, Shelby, to unravel that ball of yarn? No, because remember, when you get in momentum, what happens? That ball of momentum starts to go, and you can unravel 30 years of bad programming in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years to see real results, to see life-changing results. But the thing is that we stop. The thing is that we get discouraged. The problem is that we allow ourselves to get confused. For me, I've been thinking, remember guys, I have perspective. I'm like, okay, for 24 years of my life, I had bad programming. I need to unravel all of those 24 years of bad programming. And then let me tell you guys the best part about it. Let me tell you guys something about it. Once you unravel it, then you got to redo it again with the new paradigm. So it's a lifetime of work, fam. It's a lifetime of work. It's a whole lifetime of work. I truly believe in my heart where I'm at right now. I've been doing my personal development journey now for 4 years. I think, in my honest opinion, that I've at least unraveled all the old programming that I had. Where I'm at, the way that I think, I've unraveled for sure. Now I'm in the place where I'm building a new programming. Now I'm building my new. It took me, in my opinion, 4 to 5 years to unravel 24 years. But guess what, bro? I worked my butt off. I've been working my butt off every single day, day in and day out, to override that programming. You'll know based off of the way that you think where you are with your process. Because I've had people ask me, no, but how do you know when you're done unraveling? You will know when those old limiting beliefs and all of that is away. You'll know. I don't think the way that I used to think. I'm not scared of judgment the way that I used to be. Right? I don't have those old ways of thinking anymore. So those days are done. It's the new me now. I'm building the new me right now. I tell people this all the time, and people look at me like, yo, no, I think you're bugging out. I'm like, I tell people all the time, I'll be like, yo, I literally feel like I'm starting all over right now. Because I literally feel now like I finally unraveled the whole old paradigm that I had. And now is that I'm starting. Now this is square one for me. Now I'm starting. It took me 5 years, but now it's here. It took me 5 years, and I want to be that. I didn't want the overnight success. You know why I didn't want the overnight success? Because I didn't want anybody to think that it was easy. I want to be the example. If it takes me 7 years, 10 years, I want people to know that, yo, it takes work. It takes 5, 6, 7 years of work for you to make it. There's people that it happens for them in a year. There's people that it happens for them in 3 years. Guess what? That was their road. They were one of the lucky ones. But trust me, at some point, everybody has to develop themselves. You gotta make sure that you understand this stuff. And if you look at it, think of yourself on the person on the left-hand side, because that's where I am. My current way of thinking. And even though I'm making great money, even though I am grateful that I'm able to help my family and I'm able to travel the world, and if I want to go on a vacation, and if I want to buy this and if I want to buy that, I can buy it and I can do that. I am grateful. Trust me, I am so grateful. But I want more. So in order for me to get more, I need new ideas to think from. And then when I get new ideas to think from, I need to be building a self-image. Right? I need to build a new self-image of Nano. What does the $100,000 a month Nano look like? How does he talk? How does he dress? How does he think? How does he organize himself? At what time does he wake up? Nano, $100,000 a month. What does he do? What does the millionaire version of Nano do? That is the image that I'm building right now of myself. The self-image of the $1 million Nano. And guess what? My belief is increased by the words that I speak and the way I handle the lows. And what happens is I got to repeat this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It doesn't matter if it takes me 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. I will do it until it happens, until I override the program, until it's a reality. Until it happens. And then when I'm there, I had $100,000 a month, then guess what? There'll come a point where I'm going to be unpleasant with my results. And I'm going to be like, you know what? Instead of $100,000 a month, now I want $1 million a month. I want $500,000 a month. So I'm going to have to do it again. I'm going to get new ideas to think from. I'm going to have to build a new self-image. I'm going to have to increase my belief. I'm going to have to do it repeatedly over a period of time until I override the program. And now I'm over and I'm on the new level. This is how it works over and over and over again. Type a 3 in the chat box if this is making sense. This is the ultimate sauce. Ultimate sauce. Until you don't do this, you'll always be stuck in the same place. Real, this is as real as it gets. True story. This is as real as it gets. You want a new paradigm? You want to make more money? You got to override that paradigm. In order for you to override that paradigm, you got to change the way that you're thinking. The way that you change the way that you're thinking is you need new ideas to think from. Nano, where do you get those new ideas? Well, you got to read books. You got to listen to audios. You got to get one-on-one mentorship. You got to go to the events. Okay. You got to build a new self-image. Who is the new version of you going to be? Right? You want to make $10,000 a month. Well, how does that $10,000 a month version of you speak? How does he talk? How does she walk? How does she dress? What time does she wake up? What do you eat? What is the self-image of yourself? Right? Are you going to let go of those bad habits? You got to create new ones. Right? And then how do you increase your belief? With the words that you speak, the actions that you take, the way you handle the lows. And then it's all about repetition, 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 until you override the programming. This is years of work, years of work. So many of us, we want microwave results. We want microwave results. We want to be able to do it right now and then tomorrow get the results. And it's never going to work like that, family. I'm sorry that I got to be the one that breaks the news to you, but it'll never work like that, fam. It'll never work like that. I know you want it to be like that. And I know you want it to happen overnight for you. And I know that you want to make the money now and you want to make it fast, but let me be the one to break the bad news to you that it's not going to happen like that. It's going to take years of work. It's going to take 3 to 5 years of work, of consistent, intentional work, not just work, because people have put in 5 years, but they weren't intentional. It's going to take 3 to 5 years of work. And don't get hyped because you made a few dollars and you're making some money. They'll take that from you ASAP. I promise you that. I see people get hyped because they start to make some money and they're like, yo, Nano, I'm making money now. Whatever. Don't get cocky. Don't get cocky because you will get humbled real quick. Real quick. Focus on growing yourself every day. Everything I tell you guys about these morning routines and about reading these books and practicing meditation and journaling your goals and all of this stuff and keeping your goals with you at all times, right? Having your goal with you at all time. These are the things that are going to be required in order for you to live that life of financial freedom that you guys are looking to accomplish. And until you don't do that, it's not going to happen. Promise you that. It takes 3 to 5, at least 3 to 5 starting off. That's a start. That's just a start. That's just a start, 3 to 5 years. Some of you guys don't need, I see people quit in 6 months. I see people quit in 1 month and it breaks my heart. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? How did you quit? It's only been 30 days. It's only been 90 days. It's only been 6 months. How did you quit? Promise you guys, this is what it takes. Facts. Facts, Adam. Yo, I actually had a beef rip the other day. It was unreal. But family, I know it's almost it's 11:35. I just realized how far into this training I've been. Let's see how many people we still got live in here. Let me see where we at. Man, we still deep in here, man. We still 300 plus, almost 400. Actually, we are 400 plus because we got 50 plus on IG. But fam, that's the training. That's the secret sauce, right? I hope you guys really did take the secret sauce serious. I really hope that you guys did take the secret sauce serious. All right. Take this I remember I'm talking to you guys about life. I'm not talking to you about business. I'm not talking to you about network marketing. I'm not talking to you about trading. I'm not talking to you about crypto. I'm not talking to you about selling. I'm talking to you about life, real life stuff, like the stuff that we really need to know in life. Right? Because you know what we can all relate to is life. We don't all trade on this call. We don't all invest into crypto and NFTs on this call. We don't all do network marketing on this call. We don't all do this and that. But you know what we all relate with? We all relate with life. And this works for anybody in any walk of life. This relates with the person who's working a job right now. This works for the person who just started their entrepreneurship journey. This works for the person that has 4 or 5 years in their entrepreneurship journey. This works for anybody. This works for the person that is just watching to watch this call right now. All right, fam. So I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys even more. We're going to wrap it up right there. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Okay, I know that I went a little bit over, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I got to give a lot of the thanks and glory, you know, first to God, obviously, but also, you know, to my brother, Matt Gribby, for the amazing, amazing, amazing training. And you know what's funny? It wasn't even a training that he gave me. He wrote it down and I was in his house and dude, I'm like, yo, can I take a picture of this, bro? He was like, yeah, bro. He never even gave me the training. He never even gave me the training. I just saw it and I'm like, yo, this makes so much sense. Yeah, of course, you could download this. This is for you. This is for all of us right here. All right, fam. So let's wrap that up. All right, guys. So with that being said, let's do a quick prayer and we out of here, fam. Quick prayer and we out. Father God, thank you so much for blessing us with this beautiful Wednesday morning that's filled with your grace and your abundance. We are so thankful for the continuous pouring in that you do into us. Wow, we cannot thank you enough for all the information, the wisdom that you pour into us on a day-to-day basis. You are giving us real perspective on what it is that we need to know in order for us to accomplish this game of life. And if there's anyone that was on this call that doubted anything, if there was anyone on this call that was feeling like quitting or they just needed an extra word of inspiration, God, I want you to know that I am grateful that you used me as a vessel today to speak through the family and make sure that they felt those words, because I know that these words were given to me by you, and you spoke them directly to all of us, including myself. I needed to hear the information that you shared on this call today. We all needed to hear. So on behalf of the whole Mornings Veneno family, we want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for giving us the blueprint. Thank you for always pouring into us. Thank you for protecting us. Thank you for guiding us. Thank you for being there for us during the highs and even being closer to us during the lows. And if we ever forgot about you, and if we ever forgot to do our prayers and give thanks when we were low and we allowed those things to affect us, God, we want to apologize for that. We didn't know any better, but now we know better. Now we understand that when those lows come, that's when we pray more. That's when we talk to you more. That's when we're going to be with you more, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's leading the way with us each and every single step of the way. And you are right there with us on every call. And we feel your presence on a day-to-day basis, God. So thank you for putting your hand over this community. Thank you for allowing us to build a foundation with you, God. We promise to continue to serve our purpose the way that we're supposed to serve it. We promise to give you always all the glory for everything that we accomplish, because none of this will be possible without you. And we want you to know that we love you dearly and we appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts. There's literally no words to describe the gratitude that we feel for all that you're doing for us, God. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go out there and have a great Wednesday day. And we appreciate you. We love you. And in your name we pray. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 Man, God's been with us on these calls for real, for real. He's been with us. I don't know if you guys feel him, but he's been with us on these calls 1,000%, fam. 100,000%. He's been on these calls with us, fam. So, yo, if y'all haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel, turn on the post notifications, you know, send this video out to somebody in the comment section below. Bro, just put down what was one thing that you learned. What was your biggest takeaway from today's call? Type it in the comment section below. Leave a quick comment for me. It doesn't hurt to leave a little quick comment down there. You guys know that, you know, these calls are for free for the next, I think you guys will be able to get these for free for just another month. MMX is officially launching right after convention in Switzerland. That convention comes, this MMX is probably going to start October, to be exact. It's not 100% confirmed, but it's going to start after the convention. And so most likely going to start probably around Columbus Day, October 11th, around that time. So great stuff. I hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your day. I love you guys to the moon and back. And honestly, I couldn't have done it with any of you guys. All right, fam. So show love, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, be good, go create that new self-image. All right, increase that belief, do the repetition daily, and watch what happens next. All right, fam. So I love y'all, appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode of Mornings with Nano. Let's get it.